We can't have true freedom without forgiveness. If we're constantly holding on to past grudges and fixating on the things that are wrong with other people, then we start to have our brain in this cycle of judgment and shame and blame. And that's like a boomerang, because it comes right back at us. Often the things we're judging about other people are the things that we're most insecure about. For example, let's say we are frustrated because somebody didn't answer our text message. We feel sad about it. But maybe there's another time where we didn't answer someone else's text message. And these types of things kind of go back and forth. So if we have our karmic energy towards forgiveness and kindness for others, it's going to come back at us too. So part of being compassionate and empathetic is having an understanding that everyone can suffer, but more importantly, everyone just wants to be loved. And this can be lost easily because we can all have trauma being triggered, and then we lose ourselves. We're not our true self when that trauma becomes triggered. You can even think of an example of a pet. I work at a veterinary hospital, and there's some dogs and cats that freak out when their nails are getting cut, because all it takes is one time, if they're a puppy, and you cut their nails too short, and it starts bleeding and it's painful, to make them anxious in vets for the rest of their life. And we can see this in human relationships too. Let's say you're getting to know somebody, and let's say you're being really, really kind to them, and then they just go off the grid, and you wonder what happened. You have to realize is it's not your fault. They could have some trauma in their past where they thought they met someone that was kind and trusting, and then they turn their back on them. So when they see someone else being kind, they become triggered and scared and shut down. And these kinds of things happen all the time, and most of them are unconscious. We don't even realize we're doing it. But when we can understand how these things happen to others, and we can understand how these things happen to ourselves, we can have a universal compassion for ourselves and for others, because we all are in the same boat. We all just want to be appreciated. We all just want to be validated. We don't want to suffer. And this is a beautiful thing. When we're able to have this compassion that's boundless, that can cut through the grooves of judgment, of condemning. But we have to understand that we don't want to be too hard on ourselves either. Because many of these things that happen are unconscious. Because we all have this innate conditioning, genetically, socially, of how we respond, how we react, how we behave, based on other things. And things that happen are kind of like a trigger, and they let this domino effect kind of just unravel through different triggers. Recently, I was at a place, and one of the security guards was by the door, and I went to leave, and I went to greet him, and he totally just ignored me. But you have to understand, is we cannot take these things personally. This person has nothing to do with me, and what I did and what he did has nothing to do with me. Because when people are like this, they're not seeing the real you. They're not present they're probably not even happy. So when people are negative and they're rude and they're mean, unkind, and reactive, we have to understand that we can't take these things personally. Who knows their history? Maybe there was a time in the past where there was a customer, and when he was working, the person was trying to be really nice, and then at the end they winded up stealing something or being dangerous in some way. So maybe he has gotten used to having his guard up and not trusting people. Who knows? We don't want to swim too long in that what if, what could it be realm. But that's just an example of how we can see a situation like that and realize that it's not about us. We didn't do anything wrong. But it's normal for us to become offended by taking this personally. Our ego gets in the way and we think that it's something about us. What is it that I did? What about me led to that rejection? This is the normal conditioning of our mind. But we can break that pattern because that's an illusion. Our brain is just coming up with these thoughts of what if, what if, what if, what if. Let's go to what is. What is? Be objective, keep things simple. This is what happened. I don't know what he's going through. I have no idea. It's none of my business. But I know it's not about me. I didn't do anything wrong. So let's try to do a meditation practice of loving kindness. Let's work on forgiveness. And when we can forgive, that can lead to freedom. We don't have to have all that judgment on our shoulders, creating all this tension in our body, making us not trust people, making us pessimistic. We can still be happy, regardless of external influences. So let's get started. You can find a place where you're going to be comfortable in. You're sitting in a chair, let's say. You can have a straight back, and you can softly, gently close your eyes. And you can have your hands on your knees or in your lap. And take some deep breaths in your nose, pausing in the middle for a couple seconds, and then breathing out your mouth longer than you would inhale for. So you could try breathing in for 2, holding for 2, and breathing out the mouth for 4 seconds. And just continue to bring your attention on your breath. Nothing else matters right now. We don't have to worry about expectations or money or relationships. All that matters is your breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. And making sure your exhale is longer than your inhale. But not straining it or forcing it to be that way. Just allow your breath to come and go. And bring to mind all the family and friends you care for. And say to them like a whisper in your mind, may you all be happy. And picture them as happy as they could be. Your pets, your friends, your family, all as happy as possible. Then take some more deep breaths as before. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. It's that simple. Just stay with it. And now telling yourself, may I be happy. May I be happy. And take some more deep breaths. Take some more deep breaths. It's not the last breath, it's not the next breath, but this breath. And just another couple breaths. And as we start to transition out of this meditation, just observe how something as simple as a perspective shift can have a difference on how we feel. We don't have to carry all that baggage and weight on our shoulders of judgment. And as you gently open your eyes, bringing this intention with you throughout your day, forgiving others and forgiving yourself, having compassion for others and yourself, understanding that we're all in the same boat. And when you're treated wrongly, it's not your fault. Very often, it's not your fault. And have a great rest of your week, and take care.